Imagine a place so hidden, so untouched by the outside world, it feels like a secret whispered only to the wind. That's the Shaba Kingdom, nestled deep within the legendary Ngoma Valley. Think of it as a jewel box tucked away in a vast, mystical jungle. A place where ancient trees reach for the sky, rivers hum old songs, and the very air shimmers with an unseen magic. The people of Shaba live a life deeply intertwined with nature, their days guided by traditions as old as the mountains themselves. At the very core of their existence, literally and figuratively, lies the heartstone of Lumina. Picture a crystal, not just sparkling, but pulsating with an inner light, throbbing like a living heart. It glows with shades of emerald and sapphire, casting a warm, vibrant energy over everything. For generations, this heartstone has been the very soul of Shaba. It's like the sun to their world, providing light, warmth, and life. This isn't just a pretty rock, it's a living power source, forming a deep, symbiotic relationship with the land and its people. Think of it like a giant, magical battery. It pours its energy into the soil, making the crops grow bountifully and the forests burst with life. It flows through the rivers, keeping the water pure and the fish plentiful. And most importantly, it connects the people to their past, acting like a direct telephone line to their ancestral spirits. Through the heartstone, the wisdom of those who came before them guides their decisions, comforts their sorrows, and celebrates their joys. It's the source of their health, their vibrant culture, their very spirit. But now, a shadow has fallen over Shaba. The heartstone, once a blazing beacon, is dimming. Slowly, imperceptibly at first, then undeniably, its vibrant glow has begun to fade, much like a lamp running out of oil. And with its weakening light, the kingdom itself feels like it's holding its breath. The once lush forests show patches of gray, the rivers murmur less, and the once vibrant colors of their world seem a little duller, like an old photograph losing its luster. This fading isn't just about beauty, it's about life itself. The people, once brimming with vitality, now feel a weariness in their bones. Laughter is quieter, illnesses linger longer, and the old stories, once so vivid, sometimes slip from memory. Their connection to their beloved ancestors feels frayed, like a thread about to snap. The very essence of Shaba, its traditions, its vitality, its unique magic, is slowly, agonizingly, fading away. In the midst of this deepening twilight stands Princess Anya. She's young, barely out of her teenage years, but the weight of this impending doom rests heavily on her shoulders. Imagine being handed a priceless, fragile vase that's already cracking. That's Anya's burden. Yet, despite the immense pressure, Anya isn't consumed by despair. She possesses a unique, compassionate spirit, an innate kindness that sees the suffering of her people, not just the abstract threat. While others might look for power or quick fixes, Anya's heart yearns for understanding and healing, making her a beacon of gentle hope in a kingdom threatened by darkness. Imagine a hush so profound it felt like the very air was holding its breath. That's how it was in the heart of the Shaba village, beneath the ancient banyan tree, where the flickering light of sacred torches danced with the long shadows. This was no ordinary gathering, it was a moment heavy with foreboding, a ritual steeped in tradition, led by the village elders. At their center stood Shaman Juma. He wasn't just old, he was ancient, his face a map of countless seasons, his eyes holding the wisdom of generations. He moved with a slow, deliberate grace, his hands, gnarled like ancient roots, pouring shimmering dust into a carved stone basin. The air thrummed with unspoken worry, a shared anxiety that coiled in every stomach. For weeks, the village had felt dimmer. The vibrant greens of the forest seemed muted, the usual joyful songs of the birds quieter, and even the laughter of the children had lost a little of its sparkle. Something was deeply, fundamentally wrong. With a final, hushed incantation, Shaman Juma turned to the gathered villagers. His voice, though soft, carried the weight of ages, resonating like a deep drum in the stillness. He began to speak of an ancient prophecy, a prophecy that had been whispered down through time, waiting for its moment to awaken. When the heartstone wanes, he intoned, the daughter of Lumina must journey to the source of whispers, past the serpent's embrace, to rekindle the ancestral fire, or the Shaba shall fade like morning mist. Let's break that down, because it's like a riddle wrapped in a looming threat. First, the heartstone wanes. Think of the hearthstone like the village's very own battery, or maybe its central hearth fire. It's what keeps everything vibrant, the crops growing, the animals healthy, the people strong and hopeful. For the Shaba, it was their spiritual anchor, the glowing core of their existence. When it wanes, it's like that battery is running low, it's glow-dimming, making everything around it feel tired and drained. This was what they were experiencing, their world was slowly losing its color and vitality. Then, the daughter of Lumina. Lumina wasn't a queen, but a revered ancestor, a spirit of pure light and life. So, the daughter of Lumina wasn't necessarily someone with a direct bloodline to a queen, but rather a spirit kin, someone whose own inner light mirrored Lumina's, capable of shining even in the deepest darkness. Her destination? The source of whispers. Imagine a library not filled with books, but with ancient secrets carried on the wind, echoing through the trees, murmuring from the very stones of the earth. It's a place where the oldest knowledge resides, a wellspring of forgotten truths and dormant power. To get there, she must go past the serpent's embrace. This wasn't just a tricky path, it was a treacherous passage, perhaps a winding, perilous canyon or a jungle so dense it felt like it was trying to swallow you whole. It was a place of danger and illusion, where shadows might twist into threats and the very ground could betray you. And the mission? To rekindle the ancestral fire. This fire isn't just wood burning, it's the very spark of their identity, their history, their spirit. If you imagine your family's oldest stories and traditions as a warm, comforting fire that brings everyone together, this fire was starting to flicker dangerously low. If it went out, everything that made the Shaba who they were would be lost. The consequence if she failed? The Shaba shall fade like morning mist. Without that ancestral fire, the Shaba people, their way of life, their very existence, would simply dissipate, like a dream forgotten upon waking, or indeed, like the fragile morning mist vanishing when the sun gets too strong. As Shaman Juma finished, a palpable tension filled the clearing. All eyes turned to a young woman named Anya. It might seem strange that they didn't choose the strongest warrior, the fastest hunter, or the most seasoned explorer. No, Anya was chosen not for her physical prowess, but for her unwavering empathy, her deep well of understanding, and her extraordinary ability to listen to the whispers of the earth and spirits. It's like she had a special antenna, able to pick up faint signals that others missed, the rustle of leaves telling a story, the quiet murmur of a stream sharing a secret, or even the feeling of ancient spirits brushing past her, leaving echoes of their wisdom. She felt the world around her, truly felt it, in a way most people couldn't. This was the strength they needed, a connection to the unseen world, a guide for a journey far beyond the physical. With trembling hands, Shaman Juma reached beneath his robes. From a pouch, he drew forth the necklace, its centerpiece a smooth, dark stone with a mesmerizing swirl that resembled an ancient, watchful eye. This was the Eye of Nyoka, a protective talisman passed down through generations. He placed it carefully around Anya's neck. "Let this be your shield, daughter of Lumina," he whispered, his eyes meeting hers, and a reminder that the ancestors walk with you. It wasn't just a pretty charm, it was a link, a piece of their collective spirit, meant to watch over her, to guide her, and to connect her to the enduring strength of her people as she embarked on a journey that would determine the very fate of the Shaba. Imagine standing on the edge of everything you've ever known, watching it slowly fade away. That's where Anya found herself. With a heavy heart but a spark of defiant hope, she turned her back on her dying kingdom, a place of crumbling walls and quiet despair. Her mission? To find a way to reignite the ancient life-giving stone, a task that felt impossibly huge for one young woman. She was utterly alone, her only companions the silence and the weight of a world resting on her shoulders. Her very first hurdle was a formidable one, the notorious Path of Thorns. This wasn't just any forest, it was a dense, ancient maze woven with magic. Imagine trying to walk through a dream where every path looks the same, and the trees themselves seem to whisper doubts into your ear, twisting your sense of direction until up feels like down and north feels like west. It was like trying to navigate a giant, enchanted hall of mirrors, each reflection mocking her sense of progress. Thorns, thick as a grown man's thumb, clawed at her clothes and skin, and a constant, swirling mist made every step a gamble. Anya, despite her determination, found herself lost, frustrated, and on the verge of giving in to the forest's dizzying spell. Just as despair began to prick at her resolve like the thorns themselves, a figure emerged from the swirling mists. It was Mala, the enigmatic spirit weaver. She was an old woman, her face a roadmap of wrinkles, her eyes like deep, tranquil pools that seemed to hold the wisdom of ages. She moved with a quiet grace, her simple woven clothes blending seamlessly with the forest around her. Mala didn't offer a map or a clear path. Instead, she offered Anya a different kind of challenge, a test of her very core. She didn't ask Anya to fight or run, she simply asked her to be. She watched Anya's reactions, her patience, her ability to look beyond her fear. It was a test of the heart, like an old river testing the strength of a new dam, not with a sudden flood, but with a slow, steady pressure that reveals every crack and every point of strength. Mala wanted to see if Anya's courage was just a fleeting spark or a deep, steady flame. Anya, though weary, refused to break, holding on to the flickering image of her people, even when all seemed lost. Seeing Anya's deep resolve, Mala revealed a truth that shifted Anya's entire perspective. This journey, she said, her voice like rustling leaves, isn't merely about rekindling the stone. That's just the key. It's about rediscovering who we were. She explained that their kingdom hadn't just lost its light, it had slowly forgotten its own story, its songs, its connection to the world around it. It was like finding an old, beautiful book with half its pages torn out and the rest covered in dust. The story was still there, but you had to dig deep to find it again. Mala then began to teach Anya how to listen to the unseen world. This wasn't about hearing sounds with her ears, but about feeling the subtle energy, the quiet hum of life all around them. It was like learning to read between the lines of a conversation, or hearing the quiet melody beneath a loud orchestra. Mala showed Anya how to feel the gentle pull of a hidden spring, the ancient wisdom held within the gnarled roots of an old tree, and the almost imperceptible shifts in the forest air. To find your way, Mala whispered, her eyes twinkling, you must see beyond sight. With that, she offered Anya a cryptic riddle, a puzzle wrapped in poetic words that would guide her not with directions, but with intuition, showing her that the true path through the thorns wasn't about what her eyes could perceive, but what her heart could feel. And with that new understanding, Anya began to see the bewildering forest not as a trap, but as a teacher. Anya stood at the threshold of what looked like an ordinary, overgrown forest clearing. But her instincts, honed by countless adventures, told her otherwise. A faint, almost imperceptible hum vibrated in the air, a whisper from a time long past. This wasn't just a patch of trees, it was a curtain, shimmering with magic, hiding a profound secret. Peeling back the veil. With a deep breath, Anya focused, concentrating her inner sight. It was like putting on a pair of special glasses that let you see a hidden world. Suddenly, the trees seemed to part, and the shimmering curtain dissolved, revealing not solid ground, but an ethereal, underwater realm. Before her lay the sunken village of echoes, an ancient Shaba settlement that had been swallowed by the waters ages ago. It wasn't truly wet, not anymore, it existed as a memory made tangible, a hauntingly beautiful illusion. Picture it. Huts crafted from ancient, waterlogged timber and adorned with coral, their walls softly glowing. Streets paved with polished shells snaked between dwellings, and towering kelp swayed gently, like ghostly curtains in a breeze you couldn't feel. Everything was bathed in a soft, ethereal light, as if perpetually twilight, reflecting off unseen waters. It was a place frozen in time, preserving a vibrant past. The watchful ones. But Anya wasn't alone. As she stepped deeper into the silent village, figures began to coalesce from the shimmering air. These were the village's inhabitants, or rather, their ancestral spirits. Don't imagine scary, rattling ghosts from a spooky story. Instead, think of them like very old, very wise grandparents, their faces etched with the wisdom of centuries, their eyes holding a deep, quiet intensity. They weren't there to harm her, but to watch. Their presence was weighty, their silence profound, a silent challenge. Why are you here? Do you understand what this place means? Anya understood immediately. This wasn't a place for plunder or quick answers. It was sacred. She had to prove her worth, not with strength or magic, but with respect for the past and a genuine understanding of the immense sacrifices made by these long-lost people. She didn't speak, but she listened to the echoes of forgotten laughter, the whispers of ancient songs, the silent testament of a community that had faced the unthinkable. The dance of remembrance. As Anya absorbed the atmosphere, a faint melody, more a feeling than a sound, began to resonate within her. It was a rhythm, a pulse from the earth and the spirits themselves. She felt a subtle pull, a gentle guidance, leading her to the heart of the village. There, almost instinctively, her feet began to move. It wasn't a complicated, acrobatic display, but a slow, deliberate series of movements. This was the forgotten dance of remembrance. Each gesture, each turn, each sway told a story. The planting of seeds, the bounty of the harvest, the joy of a wedding, the sorrow of a loss, and finally, the rising waters that claimed their home. It was like learning a lullaby sung by a great-grandmother you never met. The melody and rhythm carry her essence, connecting you across generations. Anya wasn't just moving her body, she was remembering with them, feeling their joys and their grief as if they were her own. A blessing and a clue. As Anya's final movement brought the dance to a close, a palpable shift occurred. The watchful gazes of the ancestral spirits softened, their silent challenge replaced by a profound sense of acceptance. A deep, resonant peace settled over the village and within Anya herself. This was their blessing, not a shout or a grand gesture, but a quiet, powerful affirmation of her spirit. And with that blessing came a gift, a fragment of ancient knowledge, vital for her journey. It wasn't a physical scroll or a cryptic map. Instead, a vivid image flashed in her mind, accompanied by a specific, potent phrase, planting itself deep within her consciousness. It was a clue about something mysterious, powerful, and central to her quest, the serpent's embrace. She didn't fully understand it yet, but she knew it was a crucial piece of a much larger puzzle. Leaving the sunken village of echoes, Anya felt profoundly changed. She carried not just a vital clue, but a deeper connection to the past, a newfound understanding of sacrifice, and the quiet strength of ancestral blessings. Her path was clearer, her purpose reinforced by the guardians of the sunken world. After days of relentless ascent, Anya's weary but determined steps finally led her to the base of the mountain of silent voices. It was a colossal, ancient peak, its jagged edges scarred by time, reaching so high it seemed to kiss the very heavens. As she climbed higher, the wind that whipped around its crags wasn't just air moving, it carried a strange, melancholic hum, like the echo of forgotten songs. Imagine a magnificent old library, but instead of books, it held the ancient whispers of the earth, the gentle murmur of rivers long dried, the rustle of forests now gone, the laughter of spirits that no longer roamed freely. Anya felt these silent voices, a symphony muted, a story waiting to be remembered. The closer she got to the summit, the more profound the silence became, broken only by this sorrowful wind. That's when she saw it, a shimmering, translucent figure, woven from tendrils of mist and emerald light, barely perceptible against a gnarled, ancient tree. This was the forest spirit, the very heart and soul of the mountain's delicate ecological balance. But the spirit was in distress. Its usually vibrant green glow flickered weakly, like a candle about to gutter out. Its form wavered, trembling, as if struggling to hold itself together. Anya realized immediately that the Heartstone's dimming light wasn't just affecting the land, it was draining the life force from the very guardians of nature. Think of the Heartstone as a giant, magical battery powering the entire natural world. When that battery starts running low, everything connected to it, especially powerful beings like the forest spirit, starts to weaken, to fade. The spirit was like the mountain's pulse, and that pulse was dangerously slow. Anya didn't just see the spirit's pain, she felt it. Her deep empathy allowed her to connect with it on a level beyond words. It was like tuning into a radio frequency, but instead of sounds, she received pure emotion, sorrow, fear, and a profound sense of loss. Through this connection, a profound truth dawned on her: everything truly is interconnected. The spirit's pain wasn't just its own, it was the pain of the mountain, the trees, the rushing streams, the creatures hiding in the shadows. It was like a giant, intricate spiderweb. Touch one strand, and the entire web vibrates with the disturbance. The fading Heartstone wasn't just a technical problem, it was causing a fundamental unraveling of life itself. Knowing she had to act, Anya sat cross-legged before the faltering spirit. She closed her eyes and began to hum a soft, ancient melody, a song of healing she'd learned long ago. She poured her own life force, her warmth, her unwavering hope, into the ailing spirit. It was a ritual not of magic spells, but of pure intent and shared energy, like offering a comforting blanket to someone shivering from cold. Slowly, miraculously, the air around them shimmered. The spirit's emerald glow deepened, its form solidified, vibrant once more. The wind around them seemed to sigh, but this time with relief, not sorrow. As its strength returned, the forest spirit didn't speak with human words. Instead, it projected a clear image into Anya's mind, a hidden grotto, veiled by ancient vines, deep within the mountain's core. This was the true source of whispers, the place where the Heartstone's power could perhaps be understood and restored. The spirit, now stronger, offered its silent guidance, a pathway illuminated in Anya's heart. The encounter was a powerful revelation. The mountain of silent voices had found its voice again, thanks to Anya's compassion. But it was also a stark, urgent reminder of the Heartstone's devastating environmental impact. What she saw here, the weakened spirit, the somber landscape, was just a symptom. The true illness, the heart of the problem, lay deeper, and Anya knew she had to reach the source of whispers before the beautiful, interconnected tapestry of life unraveled completely. Anya had finally reached it, the source of whispers. But what she found wasn't a bubbling spring or a glowing altar, as the old stories suggested. Instead, she stood at the entrance to a vast, echoing ancient cave system, its depths shrouded in a gloom that felt less like darkness and more like a heavy silence. This wasn't a physical place in the way she expected, it was something far more intricate, far more personal. Within these winding tunnels lay what the ancient ones called the labyrinth of forgotten dreams. Imagine stepping into a dream, but one crafted not by your subconscious alone, but by centuries of unspoken fears, doubts, and the collective sorrow of an entire people. This wasn't a maze of stone walls, but a shifting landscape of the mind, a psychological and spiritual trial designed to test her very core. As Anya ventured deeper, illusions flickered into existence. Distorted reflections of her own anxieties, whispers of her people's fading hopes, and ghostly echoes of the Shaba's lost glory. Every turn brought her face to face with the despair that had slowly eaten away at her culture, manifesting as chilling, tangible specters. It was amidst this harrowing mental landscape that she encountered the serpent's embrace. Forget the image of a literal, scaly beast. This was far more insidious. Think of it less as a creature and more like a suffocating cloud, a vast, oppressive presence woven from the accumulated fear and misunderstanding of generations. It wasn't a physical monster, but a potent, ancient illusion, a symbol of everything that held the Shaba people back. Their deep-seated resistance to change, their stubborn clinging to methods that no longer served them, and the quiet stagnation that had crept into their vibrant traditions. This shadowy, serpent's embrace, wasn't just a vision, its oppressive weight could be felt, slowly draining the very life from the Heartstone Anya carried, making it dim and weaken with every passing moment. Then, with a sudden, painful clarity, Anya understood. The serpent wasn't an outside enemy, a monster to be slain with a blade or a spell. It was a mirror. It was a terrifying, powerful representation of the Shaba's own doing, their unconscious decision to cling to the asterisk form of their old ways, their beautiful rituals and traditions, without truly remembering or understanding their essence. Like trying to bake a magnificent, traditional bread but forgetting what yeast is, or why you need the dough. You go through the motions, but the bread never rises. It was this hollowing out of their own culture, this clinging to an empty shell, that had led to their decay, creating the very serpent that now threatened to consume them entirely. The true battle, Anya realized, wasn't against an external foe, but against an ingrained mindset, a deep-seated resistance to change that had manifested itself into this devastating, soul-draining illusion. Anya pushed through the last veil of hanging moss, her breath catching in her throat. The labyrinth wasn't just a maze of rock, it was a journey into the earth's quiet heart. As she stepped into the central chamber, the air shimmered, cool and alive. This wasn't the dark, foreboding place she'd imagined. Instead, a soft, ethereal glow pulsed from a vast, cavernous space. Before her lay what the legends called the Heart of Lumina. But it wasn't a single, glowing gem. It was an entire ecosystem of luminous, crystalline formations, stretching from floor to ceiling like giant, silent organ pipes. They pulsed with a gentle, almost silent hum, a vibration that resonated deep within Anya's bones, a palpable ancestral energy. It felt like walking into a dream, or an ancient, whispered secret finally brought to light. Then, Shaman Juma's words echoed in Anya's mind, clear as if he stood beside her. The heartstone doesn't give light, it reflects it. She looked at the shimmering crystals around her, seeing now that their glow was faint, barely there. Like a mirror that had lost its brilliance because there was nothing bright left to reflect. And suddenly, it all clicked. It hit Anya with the force of a sudden, blinding flash. The vanishing culture, the creeping darkness that threatened to erase her people, wasn't a curse from some external, evil force. No, it was something far more profound and, ironically, something they held the power to change. Imagine your culture as a magnificent, roaring campfire. The kind that brings everyone together on a cold night, full of stories, laughter, and warmth. This campfire is the community's shared spirit, their collective belief, their willingness to grow and adapt while honoring the deep roots of their traditions. The heartstone, these shimmering crystals, weren't the fire itself. They were like the cool, reflective surface of a still lake, perfectly mirroring the bonfire's brilliance. If the campfire starts to dwindle, if its flames become weak and sputter, the lake can only reflect a dim, fading glow. That's what was happening. The heartstone was dimming because the people themselves were forgetting the meaning behind their rituals. They were like dancers who knew every step of a complex performance but had completely forgotten the music, the emotion, the story it was meant to tell. They were going through the motions, lighting candles, chanting old verses, making offerings, but their hearts weren't truly in it. It was a hollow echo, performed without true spiritual connection, like watering a beautiful plant with a thoughtful watering can, but forgetting to put water in the can first. Their inner light, their shared conviction, their passionate belief in their heritage, their courage to both remember the past and embrace the future, had been slowly fading. The crystals around Anya weren't failing, they were simply reflecting the weakening spark within the people of Lumina. The truth wasn't about finding a new light, but rekindling the one they already possessed. A hushed reverence filled the ancient chamber, thick with the scent of forgotten herbs and the weight of generations. This was it, the moment Anya had prepared for her entire life, the daunting challenge known as the ritual of reconnection. It wasn't just about chanting spells or waving a wand. This ritual demanded something far more profound, something that would shake her to her very core. Imagine trying to connect two separate islands with a bridge, but you don't have bricks or steel. Instead, you have to use a part of asterisk yourself. That's essentially what Anya faced. The ritual called for more than just raw magic, it required a profound personal sacrifice. She wasn't just doing something, she was giving something irreplaceable. As Anya took her place before the shimmering, ancient altar, her heart pounded a rhythm against her ribs. She had to pour her own vibrant life force into the ancestral spark. Think of her life force like a powerful river flowing within her, full of energy and vitality. Now, she had to consciously redirect that river, not just a trickle, but a significant portion of its current, to flow into something ancient and waiting. It was like siphoning off a piece of her very soul, her inner warmth and glow, to reignite a dying ember. But it wasn't just energy. Anya also had to infuse the spark with her unwavering hope, the fierce belief that a better future was possible, and her pure heart, the selfless love she held for her people. These weren't things you could bottle, they were the very essence of who she was. It was like putting all her deepest dreams and her most cherished emotions into a sacred offering, transforming them from intangible feelings into a tangible power that could be channeled. This incredible act wasn't just for show. It was designed to bridge the gap between the physical and spiritual realms. Picture it like trying to make a cosmic phone call to ancestors who live on a different plane of existence. For generations, the line had been dead, silent. Anya's sacrifice was meant to repair that connection, to build a sturdy, invisible pathway that allowed wisdom, guidance, and ancestral strength to flow back to her people. Now, let's be absolutely clear, this isn't a sacrifice of death. Anya wasn't offering her life in the traditional sense. Instead, it was a commitment of her essence to her people. Think of it like a master gardener planting her most precious seeds, knowing they will grow into magnificent trees that will feed and shelter her community for decades. Those seeds are no longer hers to simply possess, they are invested in the future of everyone. Anya was planting a part of herself, not losing it, but transforming it into something bigger and more enduring than she could ever be alone. It was the ultimate demonstration of true leadership and selfless love, putting the needs of her community above her own. As Anya focused her will and poured her spirit into the ritual, the ancient artifact at the center of the chamber, known as the Eye of Nyoka, began to pulse. It wasn't just flickering, it throbbed with a deep, rhythmic glow, like a magnificent heart beating. It wasn't creating the energy, but rather acting as a conduit, a powerful lens focusing and channeling her energy into the unseen realms, guiding her precious offering precisely where it needed to go. Every pulse was a testament to Anya's immense sacrifice, a beacon reaching out through time and space. The air crackled with anticipation as Anya, with the last, whispered words of the ancient ritual, pressed her hand to the heart of Lumina. For a breathless moment, nothing happened. Then, with a sudden, almost violent gasp, a blinding light erupted. It wasn't just bright, it was alive, a wave of pure, concentrated energy that surged forth, painting the entire valley in an ethereal glow. Imagine a cosmic breath, a giant, invisible hand exhaling life back into the world. This river of light didn't stop at the mountain pass. It rushed down, a silent, powerful tide flowing towards the Shaba village. There, the ancient heartstone, which had been slowly dimming like a forgotten embers for generations, suddenly roared back to life. From a faint, flickering whisper, it exploded into a beacon, pulsing with a brilliance that outshone the midday sun. It was like watching a completely flat battery suddenly go from zero to fully charged, vibrant and buzzing with energy. And with that surge, the land itself seemed to exhale. The parched earth drank in the glow, its cracks stitching themselves closed. Brown, withered plants straightened, unfurled, and burst into vibrant greens and forgotten colors. It was like pressing fast forward on a nature documentary, witnessing a miraculous, instant spring after a long, weary winter. A deep, profound sense of hope, warm and comforting like a sunrise after a long, dark night, washed over every single Shaba person. They felt it in their bones, a lightness in their spirits they hadn't known in decades. Anya, though physically weakened by the immense ritual, radiated a spiritual glow that was even brighter than the revitalized heartstone. Her eyes, though tired, shone with understanding and a quiet triumph. As she returned to a kingdom no longer just surviving, but truly alive again, the people gathered, eager for her words. She stood before them, a hero weary but profoundly wise, and pointed to the now brightly pulsing heartstone. For so long, she began, her voice soft but clear, we believed the heartstone was a giver of power, a magical battery that simply fueled our land. But that's not its true nature. She paused, letting the revelation hang in the air. The heartstone, she explained, is not a battery, my friends. It is a mirror. Imagine looking into a clear pond. What you see isn't just the water itself, but a reflection of the sky, the trees, and your own face. Anya explained that the heartstone reflects the collective spirit of the Shaba people. When our hearts were heavy with doubt, when our unity wavered, when we lost faith in ourselves, she said, the heartstone grew dim, reflecting that inner struggle. But now, filled with hope, with connection, with renewed purpose, look how brightly it shines. It is reflecting us. And this, she continued, was the true lesson about their culture. Many of us feared our traditions were vanishing, fading like smoke. But our culture isn't a delicate, fragile relic to be kept in a dusty museum, something we can only look at. It is a living river. She drew another analogy. A river needs to flow, to carve new paths, to nourish new life along its banks. If we try to dam it up, to keep it exactly as it always was hundreds of years ago, it will stagnate and die. Our culture isn't vanishing, it's asterisk evolving. What it requires, Anya concluded, her voice gaining strength, isn't just rote repetition of old words or movements, but conscious effort and a living connection to our ancestral wisdom. It's about understanding the asterisk why behind the rituals, the spirit behind the stories, and applying that ancient wisdom to our lives today. It's like tending a garden. You don't just plant the seeds once and walk away. You water it, you weed it, you nurture it, you help it adapt to new seasons, ensuring it grows and thrives, forever bearing fruit. This was not an ending, but a vibrant beginning. A new dawn for the Shaba, where ancient roots would nourish a dynamic, ever-growing future, vibrant with a hope born from understanding and true connection. Okay, let's dive into the heart of the Shaba kingdom's transformation, making it clear, engaging, and using a relatable analogy. Imagine a magnificent, ancient tree that has weathered countless storms. It hasn't just been patched up after a harsh winter, it has been fundamentally renewed from its very roots, growing stronger, taller, and more resilient than ever before. This is the Shaba kingdom reborn, not simply restored to its former glory, but reimagined, having shed old limitations to embrace a future built on deeper wisdom and unwavering unity. At the helm stands Anya, no longer just a princess, but a queen forged in the fires of crisis. Her leadership isn't about rigid command, it's a guiding hand, steering her people into a brilliant new era defined by genuine understanding and a profound sense of conscious preservation. This isn't just about putting old relics in a museum or repeating rituals without meaning. Oh no, it's about truly understanding why those traditions existed, what spirit they carried, and how that spirit can continue to thrive and evolve in the modern world. Here's the profound moral lesson, whispered through the rustling leaves of their renewed culture. True cultural legacy isn't like trying to glue fallen petals back onto a flower to make it look the same. That would be rigid adherence, a dusty, lifeless imitation. Instead, it's like nurturing the plant itself, providing good soil, allowing it to grow new leaves, bloom new flowers, and adapt to the changing seasons. The spirit of the plant lives on, even as its form changes. For the Shaba, this means their culture is a living, breathing entity. They embrace change, allowing new ideas and experiences to enrich their identity, while always staying deeply connected to their ancestral roots. They understand that their strength doesn't come from being stuck in the past, but from a shared purpose that looks forward, and a remarkable ability to adapt, learn, and weave new threads into the rich tapestry of their heritage. The moment their culture seemed to be vanishing was, in fact, the greatest test. It wasn't an end, but a powerful call to redefine what it truly meant to be Shaba. It forced them to look beyond the surface, beyond the mere symbols, and reconnect with the core values, the unbreakable spirit, and the shared stories that made them who they were. This journey of introspection ensured that their tales wouldn't just be read from dusty scrolls, but would forever be unfolded, lived, reinterpreted, and carried forward by each new generation, a vibrant and dynamic testament to resilience and wisdom. The Shaba didn't just survive, they learned how to truly live, ensuring their legacy would shine brighter than ever before.